It's the 3rd of June, 2022. It's about 10 minutes to noon. I'm about to deal with this dishonorable Nicholas Simons and the coven. The coven, that is the Ministry of Social Destruction and Poverty Development in the province of British Columbia here. You see, all these ministries do the opposite of what their name says. Yeah, it's called the law of reversal. If you don't understand anything about the way of the witch and witchcraft, that's unfortunate for you, because your entire world is run by witches and their witchcraft. Yeah. Hi, my name's Victoria. Have I introduced myself to you yet? I identify as King's Counsel because that's exactly who I am and what I am. Yeah, I'm afraid so, folks. I'm not from this world. I'm so sorry to inform you of this, and I can prove it all. Yeah, you don't ever roll up on me and ask me if I have proof, because I'll shove the truth, which is the proof, down your throat so fucking fast you will never be able to choke it up. Yeah, isn't that unfortunate for you? You male and female humans legally defined as monsters. Well, guess what? I'm not a human. No, I'm a woman. Yeah, if you know anything about the DSM, the scriptures, all of that truth is provided for all of you in the DSM. All the truth is provided for each and every one of you, blind and deaf humans, in the DSM. And if you don't understand the truth, that's because you're not of the truth. So if you're not of the truth, you're not going to be able to understand a word that I'm speaking to you, because I speak a completely different language than all of you humans. You male and female monsters, you fucking hybrids. You're nothing but circus monkeys, you get that? You are 99% identical to apes, gorillas, chimpanzees. You're almost genetically identical to pigs, to dogs. Go ahead and do the research. Oh wait, I've already done it for you. I taught you all of this truth. You don't want to accept it because you're not of the truth. So now this morning, I'm going to have to deal with a coven of witches in British Columbia here, who have now cut me off my necessaries of life in an act of retaliation, because in April of this year, I was violently, viciously attacked by a couple of witches pretending to be agents for this Ministry of Social Destruction and Poverty Development. Yeah, okay, so the necessaries of life must be provided to all in BC by the satanic cult trying to pass itself off as the province of British Columbia, a satanic cult that is hoarding billions of dollars, while most in British Columbia live under the poverty level. Yeah, that's right. Is the truth offensive to you? Excellent, then you've identified yourself. And if you've identified yourself as a pig, a puke, or a dog who hates the truth, my counsel to you is to do the entire world a favor, because you are toxic, because you are poisonous. You need to take yourself out. Yeah, that's my counsel to you, child of the devil. Yeah, because I tell you what, over 90% of the folk out here that look like people but are not are on their way to hell. Yes, you see, that's what I do as King's Counselor. I am trained in the art, in the expertise of preaching and teaching the gospel of the kingdom of heaven, which foundationally is three things and three things only. The Torah is the way, the truth, and the life, and that will never change for you or anybody else. The kingdom of heaven is real. You're not getting in. And I tell you what else is real. Hell is real, and you're on your way there. That's right. You're going to hell. Are you excited? So this morning I've come on here to record a message. I'm about to call this Nicholas Simons. Yeah, this satanic savage is now consulted with other satanic savages pretending to be authority in the province of British Columbia here to cut me off my necessaries of life. After having my house stolen by way of title and application fraud by satanic savages acting as CIBC, and satanic savages acting as their solicitors and the provincial court of BC here. So a couple of Asian abominations could launder money. And then those two Asian abominations got out of my property and sold it illegally to two others. And one of whom pretty much has got to be an Asian, because last name Howe is not a Caucasian name. No, 3 letters in a last name, more than likely, most of the time refers to some type of Asian. Yeah, sorry, that's the truth. If you don't like it, I don't fucking care. So let me set up some boundaries here for the animals who are going to be listening to me. Right, so I'm standing on my rights under the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination Against Women. Excuse me, it's the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. It's a convention that Canada's a party to. I'm also standing on my rights under the Act for the Preservation and Enhancement of Multiculturalism in Canada. That's right, folks. Because Canada and all its public servants who have duties, responsibilities, and obligations, but you pukes have no rights. Let me inform you of that right now. You as a public servant have no rights. You have no rights. What you have are duties, obligations, responsibilities to follow the Act for the Preservation and Enhancement of Multiculturalism in Canada. Because whereas Canada is a party to the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, which convention recognizes that all are equal before the law and are entitled to equal protection of the law against any discrimination and against any incitement to discrimination. And to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, a covenant providing that me, a people belonging to an ethnic and linguistic minority, will not be denied my right to enjoy my own culture and to use my own language. Now listen to me very carefully. You human, listening to me right now, your opinion of what I say and how I say it is completely, entirely irrelevant. All the words out of my mouth are protected speech because I am speaking my native language. I'm using my own language, a language you will never understand. Okay? So your opinion, your belief of what I have to say and how I have to say it is irrelevant. It's called freedom of speech here, and I have that right here. Yeah. And besides, who gives you the fucking right to decide who gets to hear what I have to say? How disgusting are you? How disgusting are you? And now we're going to look at the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination because I'm invoking all my rights under that International Convention. Most notably, Article 5, the right to equal treatment before the tribunals and all other organs administering justice. And then now we're looking at Part B of Article 5, the right to security and protection by the province of British Columbia and all its satanic skank agents against violence, bodily harm, whether inflicted by pigs, because a pig is a person in government, or any individual, group, or institution. Right, great. And now we're looking at Part C, which is my right to take part in the government of British Columbia, as well as in the conduct of public affairs at any and all levels, and to have equal access to public services. Right. Did you hear that? I also have other civil rights, in particular the right to freedom of movement and residence. Excellent. The right to leave this satanic, Masonic, demonic, Judaic country, and to return to my own place of origin, which will be the kingdom of heaven. That's a place you don't know, and you're never going to get inside. Because more than likely, you, the one that's listening to me right now, you're more than likely a child of the devil, which means you're toxic, which means you're poisonous, which means your opinion is completely and entirely fucking irrelevant. Got it? Got it? Let's see here. The right to own property alone, the right to inherit. Well, that's excellent because I've inherited a house in the district of Saanich, a mortgage-free home that's free from property tax. Yeah, I'm afraid so. That's what the trust says. And now my house has been stolen from me by some satanic savages acting as CIBC in the BC Supreme Court, so a couple of Asians could use my stolen property to launder filthy lucre through BC's wholly and completely corrupt real estate industry. It's a real problem in Canada. Twice a week in Canada, a woman just like me is having their home stolen. So some satanic savage bankers and bar members can steal all the property, including most of the personal chattel, and then they embezzle the entire inheritance from the individual that they seek to murder, which is why they've stolen my home and embezzled all the money, which, by the way, is called genocide. And every single witch involved in this latest act of genocide, the King of Kings has ordered to be publicly euthanized. And those sessions of purging the wicked from among me will be running before the end of this year. I'm here on special assignment for the King of Kings. You have no jurisdiction over me at all. And I'm explaining that to you now, aren't I? Yeah, that's right. Because I have the right to freedom of thought and to freedom of conscience. Yes, and I have the right to freedom of expression as well. Isn't that unfortunate for you? I also have the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. And unfortunately for me, the children of the devil are never a peaceful assembly. Never. Right, because they're children of the devil. They're murderers, thieves, and destroyers. They're compulsive liars. They're born slimy, twisted, disgusting, vile snakes. And I can go down and name literally covens of these children of the devil who have come and attacked me, and my spouse, and my biological real property. Yep. So I try not to make these too long, but unfortunately, when I have to get on here and the spirit of truth takes over, it's going to take as long as it's going to take. So now what I need to do is I need to call this satanic savage, this Nicholas SIMONS, and have a little chit-chat with this indictable crime-committing criminal. So him and his buddies have now conspired to cut me off my necessaries of life. Right. So there should have been monies dropped off via direct deposit into my bank account pertaining to my needs. And it's about $350 that I receive. Yeah, that's it, because the province of British Columbia refuses to provide the necessaries of life for individuals who actually need some financial help. Because, you see, the pigs at the trough in British Columbia here hate the poor, and they want us all dead, so they can inherit everything from us. Because when you're a satanic savage, when you're a greedy puke who worships money, like John Horgan here, and all these pukes in the courts, and all these puke bar members, and all these puke bankers, yeah, there's never enough for you. There's never enough money for you. Never enough. You'll never be satisfied, right? Because your fucking money's a lie, right? Your mammon is a lie. Your mammon is an idol. So it can't comfort you, and it certainly can't save you from what's coming upon you. Yeah, those 4 horses are about to ride because you pigs, pukes, and you dogs just don't get it and you don't want to get it. So I got myself a bullhorn. And because you're not listening, I'm about to get fucking loud, and I mean fucking loud. You want to disturb my peace all day, every day? I'm about to disturb your fucking peace all day, every day. I'm going to do to you pigs, pukes, and dogs what you pigs, pukes, and dogs have done to me and my family. And that's the law. That's the law, because in my culture is the victim of the crimes who take out and take down the trespassers who come against us. That's my culture. I have a right to practice my culture here in this country. Isn't that right, John Horgan? Nicholas SIMONS. Since all you pigs, pukes, and dogs falsely believe that you're above the law, I'm now informing you I'm above the law. You have no jurisdiction over me at all. At all. And like I told you, I'm now coming into every single government office. I'm coming right inside and taking what I require to do my job. I'm doing a special investigation of the child trafficking and theft of private interest properties from widows in British Columbia, because that's what's happening, and it's happened to me. So I'm not an incompetent ignorant, I'm not one of the dead, so I don't need to fucking go and talk to a lawyer. Miss Nevins, have you talked to a lawyer? That's what I heard from that fucking puke Robert Punnett in the whorehouse at 850 Burdett Avenue. Hey, Robert, yeah, puke. I'm talking to a lawyer right now, puke face. You're a lawyer and you're a fucking incompetent puke. You're an ignorant fucking savage, Robert Punnett. Robert Punnett refused to release to me my necessaries of life after him and his buddies stole my house and then embezzled all the money. Robert Punnett is responsible for me being raped repeatedly by beasts in the community here who buy women for sexual gratification, which is a crime in Canada. Except if your name is John Hargan. Hey, John. John likes to promote prostitution in the province because John Hargan is a perverted pimp. Isn't that right, John? Don't worry, John. We're gonna fucking make sure that these calls are posted all over the place because the public has the right to know exactly what you pigs, pukes, and dogs actually are and what you do all day, every day, which is nothing of value. Read the DSM. The DSM describes each and every one of you in living technicolor. That's why I know who and what I'm dealing with. That's why I know I'm not dealing with people. I'm dealing with male and female monsters. Compulsive liars. So let's give a call here. They never pick up the phone, by the way. They're too busy worshiping Satan. Nicholas Simon's office? Hi there, is Mr. Simmons in the office this afternoon?
He's not available at the moment. Can I take a message?
Yeah, this is Victoria Nevins calling. My callback number is 250 6610610.
Oh, sorry.
610.
250-661-0610. Thank you. And sorry, can you spell your last name for me?
N is in Nancy. E is in Edward. V is in Victor. E is in Edward. N is in Nancy. S is in Sam.
Okay, great. And what's the message I can take for you?
So I've been on services from the ministry for quite some time. My life is under threatened duress at the moment as I've had my home stolen and all the money embezzled by the province of British Columbia. There were some events that happened in April between me and this ministry, which resulted in some events happening in May between me and this ministry, and now I've been cut off the $350 I was receiving. Obviously in some type of retaliation, so I need to have a discussion with Mr. Simmons about this behavior and about why I've been cut off now of my necessaries of life.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I have the correct information. So your shelter rate has been taken off of your pay?
There was $356 direct deposited into my account at the end of every month, and now in May that has not been deposited at all, so now I don't have enough to live. Like I'm about to either lose a whole storage locker full of personal chattel or I'm about to be homeless here.
Okay. And what city are you calling from?
Oh, of course. Victoria?
Oh, Victoria. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Good question.
Victoria,
Good question.
your first name is yeah, and your name is Victoria.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your last name is okay, great. So I'm just gonna take note of your location. 0610. Okay, I'm taking your message here. I'll put, of course, a sense of urgency on this since you are at risk right now. Is there anything else you wanted me to add to this that you wanted to draw attention to before I send the message?
Yeah, I really appreciate you picking up the telephone because usually I don't get anybody on the other end of the telephone, so I appreciate that you've answered the call today and that you've taken a message for me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I mean, we do our best to get the phone lines answered during our office hours. Of course, sometimes we're, either away from our desk or on another calls, but we definitely do our absolute best to return voicemails and answer the calls, at the most timely rate. So I'm happy to send this message along for you. Just making sure I have all the information here.
So just a couple other things I better say. So I have a storage locker fee of about $370 due at the beginning of the month. But my rent isn't due until the 11th of the month. So I've got a small window of time here. I've got about a week to sort this out before I'm basically going to be kicked out of this place because I don't have enough money to live now. So that's why I'm trying to get ahead of this before because it's so embarrassing for me to have to try to explain this to the hotel staff. Because this is like it's an ongoing, and it's just very embarrassing and very hurtful for me to have to try to. These poor people don't need to put up with this. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm trying to get ahead of this, because it's like really painful for me to go into my bank account and see that a direct deposit was not direct deposited in May, and I know why. I mean, I know what's going on, but we have to discuss it, right? Because it's you can't withhold.
You do know a reason that they may have taken that pay, like why you may have not received that rate?
Well, I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on, yes, because this is, I'm not treated very fairly most of the time just because of my race and whatnot, so I'm always having trouble, this kind of trouble, and I'm so tired, right? It's exhausting having to try to survive. Survival mode is just so exhausting.
I understand, yes, that absolutely your feelings regarding that are so valid.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add that here. And are you comfortable giving the location of the hotel you're residing at, or did you want to leave that part out?
Well,
totally fine if you do.
I would love to be a woman with privacy. Unfortunately, my life does not dictate privacy at all, so there's no problem in letting you know where I'm at. So, my home that was stolen is in the District of Saanich, so I've tried to stay as close to my house as possible, so I'm still staying in the District of Saanich. I'm staying at the Red Lion on 3366 Douglas Street.
Okay.
And that's who's been lovely enough to kind of, try to take care of me since I got forced evicted from my house on May 19th, 2020, which was the first day that you weren't supposed to be evicted, and yet, boom, there I was, being evicted, homeless, nowhere to go, and no one will take you because at that time, it's, COVID's just starting, so it took me a while to try to find a place to stay.
Okay. Victoria, I've got all this down here, and I'm sending this off right away for you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your help. Appreciate your kindness. Appreciate you listening.
Oh, thank you. Well, you have yourself a good day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, did you get a load of that? Now listen to me. I am one of the kindest, nicest women you're ever going to meet in your life. Did you hear me speak to that individual? Now, that individual treated me with, a level of respect and a level of kindness and a level of concern that would be normal for me to receive. And yet that's normally not how I'm spoken to, and that's normally not how I'm treated. Now, did you listen to how I spoke to that individual? Was I rude? Was I mean? Did I try to hide information? No, I didn't do any of that. I'm very easy to deal with, and I'm very easy to talk to if I'm dealing with somebody who has half a brain in their head that's functioning at least halfway normally, okay? But I tell you what, when I'm dealing with toxic monsters, I myself turn into a toxic monster, which I'm not. It is out of my character to be rude to another or to be mean to another, unless they've been mean and rude to me first. So when you hear me get on here, recording, it's because I have to prove who I am, number one. I have to prove my character, number one. Right? I have to prove to you that, I'm not difficult to deal with. I can have very incredibly intelligent conversations if I'm speaking to anything halfway intelligent. Right? Now, we all know why I've been cut off that shelter portion. We all know why. Because here's the thing. Unless I was back inside my house, there was no way you had a right to shut off that rental subsidy. And when I call up the Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction, which is actually a ministry that does the opposite of what it says it does, and I'm still explaining to you, because I'm going through, your computer system, that I still need help. So how come nobody from the ministry called me in May and asked me if I was okay? Asked me if I needed anything? Because I tell you what, $915 a month is not a livable amount. You're beyond poverty. That's what I get from this province. The province of British Columbia subtracts the survivor pension benefits I get. They subtract that, right? Which means then I had to go to BC Housing to apply for rental subsidy, a subsidy I shouldn't even need to have if the Ministry of Poverty Reduction here stopped minusing survivor pension benefits, because survivor pension benefits are not income. Let me explain to you that CPP is a trust fund. Now, some of the individuals in Canada choose to provide for themselves a pension as they pay into a trust fund with their name on it. That's what CPP is. It's a trust. It's a pension trust. Now, when my spouse paid into that trust fund, that CPP trust fund, for over 50 years, because my spouse worked for over 50 years, once that money is placed into that trust fund, it's not income. Yes, it was once income, but once it's paid into that trust fund, it's now a benefit. You get that? It's a benefit. It's not income. So you cannot legally continue to subtract CPP and survivor pension benefits from clients receiving some financial help for whatever reason that they need that help. The other thing is that those acts that this ministry is using, they're not law, but I tell you what, those acts are set up so clients can be abused by the social worker at the ministry. That's what those acts are for. They're set up and written to allow public service agents to abuse clients. That's what the act is. Have you ever read an act? It's not a law. It's a guideline at best. So when I call up the ministry and say that, hey, I need some help, or I need a little extra help this month, or listen, there's been things happening in my life that are just beyond cruel and unusual, like having my car vandalized. Then some puke broke into my car and stole a bunch of personal chattel. I mean, you don't even know what's going on with me in my life, because I'm one of the hated. This world just absolutely fucking hates me. I arrived here June 28th, 1973. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm one of the peculiar people. We don't have birth dates. We have arrival dates. I was sent down from above June 28th, 1973. I arrived here to be a witness to the wickedness of my generation. Do you have any idea what it's like to be hated by the world and to pick up on that for decades before you're shown who you are, and you're taught who you are, and you're taught what you are, and you're taught what you're doing down here? I'm not unreasonable. I'm beyond fair. I am the queen of fairness, and I would never ask anyone to do or provide for me anything that I wasn't rightfully due. I'm just not like that. I don't worship mammon, sorry. I don't worship idols. I don't worship lies. I'm one of the living, okay? We don't worship what is dead. We don't worship what is cursed. And you can guarantee that I know exactly the difference between what is good and what is evil. I have to be an expert on the difference between what is good and what is evil. Okay, I gotta stop this now, because the Circus Monkeys have a hard time holding their concentration. So if this is over 30 minutes, that's probably not going to work for anybody. So we're coming up here on about 29 minutes of me in a public discourse, in a public service announcement. Now, again, advocating for myself, because now, once again, I'm dealing with a level of cruelty and abuse that is against the law, man. It's against the law. Would I ever do to another what's being done to me? Never in a million years, because I know that that's called blasphemy. And in the Torah, blasphemy is unforgivable. You ain't getting around that. My brother Jesus taught you all of this, but you're not listening to my brother. You worship my brother, but you don't listen to a word he has to say. How unfortunate for you folk that you just don't fucking get it. That's why the king sends down me, to teach you how to get it. Because if you're not about the truth, and nothing but the truth, then what are you about? You better ask yourself, because eternity's, well, it's forever, isn't it, folks?